Hi class, I just wanted to go over the questions in Chapter 9 quiz, and I just think this is helpful because Chapter 9 can be kind of tricky sometimes. And so if we look at the first question, the direct materials price variance is typically the responsibility of the, and so this isn't a trick question, the price variance would be the purchasing manager, and the direct materials price variance should be calculated as soon as the materials are purchased. So the slides will get into that, but with all of our calculations today, we are assuming, or all of them infer that everything that was purchased was used in production. And so when you do see a discrepancy between the amount that's purchased and used, make sure with the price variance you use the amount that is purchased, and for the quantity variance use the amount that was used in production. But we'll see that later on in this chapter. But the direct materials price variance is the responsibility of the purchasing manager, like I said. And so we'll go to the slides that are Chapter 9 right from Canvas. And so if you look at these slides, you can see, responsibility for materials variances, materials quantity variance, materials price variance. And so the production manager will talk to the purchasing manager, and the purchasing manager will get mad that they're not being efficient, that they're not, that they have poor scheduling, and that will cause unfavorable variances. And then the production manager will say you bought cheap material, and that brought, unfavorable quantity variances. And so that's just a little more information on who's responsible for the different variances. So the cheap material could lead to quantity variance, and the poor scheduling could lead to rush orders with higher price variances. So going on to the next question on the quiz. So the purchasing manager, when it's purchased, okay, and then the standard and actual prices per pound of raw material are $4 and $4.50 respectively, a total of 10,000. So I'm just going to use this main PowerPoint screen for you to see, and so hopefully it will be bigger so that you won't. I know that some of the other videos were pretty blurry or pretty hard to see when it was really small, and so hopefully this one will be a little bit bigger and better for you to see as you watch them. And so I have the same exact question, right? And so we have this all set up, our price and quantity variances, and you need to know this formula. Sometimes the actual quantity and price are on the left side, and sometimes they switch to the right side, but it's the exact same formula, however you want to present it. And so sometimes they give you exactly what you need, and sometimes you have to do a few calculations in the mix. And so it says the standard and actual prices. So standard price was $4, and the actual price was $4.50. Okay, and so prices are normally on a per unit basis, while the quantities are on a total basis. So just remember that the quantities are normally a total basis, and the prices are on a per unit. So a total of 10,500 pounds of raw material was purchased and then used to produce 5,000 units. And I normally like to put the units on top of our equation. And so 5,000 units. It just helps with calculations and knowing what we're making. And so the quantity standard allows for 2 pounds of raw material per unit produced. What is the materials quantity variance? Oh, and a total of 10,500 pounds was, sorry, I missed that sentence, of raw materials was purchased and then used to produce 5,000 units. So they purchased it and used the exact same amount, and so we're going to be using that 10,000. So it was purchased and used, that's the actual quantity. And then they said that our standard allows for 2 pounds of raw material per unit. So they gave you that on a per unit basis, so 2 pounds per unit. But we have to think about how many units we're producing. We're producing these 5,000 units. So we'll times the 2 pounds standard per units, times it by the number of units to get a total for our standard quantity. So our standard quantity is 10,000 pounds, and then we will calculate that in our formula. And so 10,500 pounds times it by $4.50 for our actual price is 47,250. And so I calculated these beforehand just to make it quicker. 42,000 over here and 40,000. Okay, and then we want a price. This is our price variance and then our quantity variance. So we'll take the difference between the 47,250 and the 42,000. So we have 5,250 over here. So there's a difference between these two. And so is this variance going to be favorable or unfavorable? And I always look at, we're looking at price variance, so we look at the prices, since the actual quantity is exactly the same. So the standard, you're supposed to spend $4 on the material, but we actually paid $4.50. So we went over budget, and so that's not going to be favorable. So that's unfavorable. Unfavorable. But you can just put a U for unfavorable, because you spent more than you should have, that the standard tells you to. And over here we'll compare this total, this equation, to this amount to get our quantity variance. 42,000 minus 4,000, 40,000 is 2,000. Will this be favorable or unfavorable? Standard price is the same. So I was supposed to use 10,000 pounds of material, and I used 10,500 pounds. So I went over budget again. So that's bad. That's unfavorable. So as we can see, our price, so this is asking for a quantity variance, and I like to just do the whole problem full out, just so you know your quantity variance, and then just read carefully what they want. So they want a quantity variance, so we have a 2,000 unfavorable quantity variance, and the next problem is the exact same question, but asks for a price variance. So at a 5,250 unfavorable price variance. So if we look at the quiz again, so it was 2,000 unfavorable and 5,250 unfavorable. Oh, sorry, unfavorable. Thank you. And so we will go on to, this is an efficiency variance. Now we're going into the labor. Instead of the direct material, we'll go into the labor. And so I moved on down a little bit to the next. It really is a very similar equation, but instead of using the price and the quantity, we're now using the rate and the hours to get an efficiency variance and a rate variance. So I have a question there also. So it says the actual direct labor wage rate is $8.50 actual, so that would be an actual rate. So actual rate is $8.50. 50. Actual rate, and then actual hours is 4,500 actual hours. Standard rate is $8. $8 right here. And standard rate, $8, like I said. And standard hours is 5,000. So we'll do that now. That's 40,000 over here. And then this will be 36,000. And over here, let's see, 38,200. 250, I think. Okay, and then we'll look at the efficiency variance and the rate variance. So the difference between 40,000 and 36,000 is 4,000. Will this be favorable or unfavorable? So the standard says you should have used 5,000 units of material, or what is it? You should have used 5,000 hours, and you actually used 4,500. So that's a good thing. You came in under budget. Favorable. Over here, 36,000 compared to 38,250. So that difference is 2,250. And so is this favorable or unfavorable? You should have spent $8, but you actually spent $8.50, just comparing the standard to the actual. So that's going to be unfavorable because you paid more than you should have. And so this is asking for an efficiency variance. Our efficiency variance here, 4,000 favorable. So you can go to the quiz and check 4,000 favorable for question 5.